Hi guys, and welcome back for this 40-minute full body low impact workout. So let's just start in an easy pose and go to the side with our neck, making sure that our stomach is pulled in, our shoulders are down, and our back is straight. And now let's take the neck diagonally. And take it to the center. And back up, and let's take it to the other side. Shoulders down, stomach in. And now diagonally. And to center, hold it down. And let's bring the head back up, roll your shoulders back a couple of times. And let's take it forward. Stomach in. And now let's just go to the side. Just stretching out that side body. And we'll go side to side. And now other side again. And again the other side. And the other side, just warming up those obliques. And other side. And other side again. And other side, lifting from those shoulders when we come up. And now let's come down to center, stretching out our lower back and our hips. And we are holding here, but you can do some pulses into this. Hold on to a wall or something to help yourself down. And let's come up, and we'll begin our first exercise. We're going to come up onto our knees. We're going to stretch one leg, doesn't matter which side, and we're going to do some oblique exercises. So we're going to reach with the arm down to the mat as the other one stretches to the sky, and then we come back up. So just going down and up, coming up with those obliques. And if you'd like, you can let go of the ground and just have the hand hover above the mat. That is more advanced, so if that's too hard, just keep doing the same exercise as before. Engaging those abs, using those obliques to lift you back up. Good. And a few more. Keep going. And let's just drop the arm all the way down after this one. So placing it on the mat, other hand on the hip, and we're going to lift that leg up now. Just up and down, pointing the toe, stretching the knee and the leg as much as we can here. So you feel that quad engaging. Just up and down, up and down. Good job, guys. Keep those abs engaged while you're doing this. And make sure that your head is lifted from the shoulders so it's not dangling down. Lifting that leg as high as we can. We're going to come for small circles after this one. So last one. And take small circles, whichever way. We're doing both ways. Small little circles, and let's take it the other way. Stretching that knee, pointing the toe, and hold it. Let's bring it down. We're gonna lay on our hip now, and we're gonna work our arms. So bend the knees, other hand on the hip, and we're just going to bend the other arm. Just bending it like so. Making sure that our elbow is bending towards our upper body, so not the other direction. And we want to pay attention that we're still engaging our abs here and that we have a nice posture. So shoulders down, lifting from those shoulders. Just bending and stretching. Bend and stretch. open and stretch. Few more. We're gonna come for a nice hip series after this. Alright, so now hold it, and we're just going to lift that knee up and down, opening up that hip like a clam. Toes are together. So just opening and closing here, keeping the other arm bent. Of course, you have the option to keep it stretched if this feels way too hard and too intense for your arm at the moment. Good. Open, close. Open, close. Abs are engaged still. Open and close. Open and close. Good job, guys. Now we're going to keep that hip turn in and lifting up and down. Up and down. It's really important that the hip is turned in here, so just have a look at it quickly. See if you're keeping that hip turned in. It's an easy mistake to keep it turned out, but this way you're going to feel it better in your glute and in your hips. Making sure you're pointing those toes. Abs are engaged. You want to engage the whole body in every workout. And let's drop it down. And let's get ready. We're going to lift from those hips while opening the hips. So just lifting, opening, and lifting, opening, keeping those toes together, and trying to lift that hip up as much as you can here. Good. Up and gently down. Up and down. Up and down. Keep pulling those stomach muscles in. Engage those abs. Lift from the shoulders. Don't lose your posture, guys. It's very important. Last one. And let's just come on all fours. And let's continue to work with that same leg. Pulling that stomach in, tailbone under. And we're just going to lift that leg, stretching it up and down. Making sure that we're not arching in the back as we lift the leg. We're keeping a nice straight line in our back. You can keep your head up, but keeping it down will help you keep the line straighter in your back. Turning that hip in. Don't turn it out, guys. Check your form. Point the toes. Up and down. Up and down. And now let's lift the leg, bending at the knee, and just up and down again. Up and down, pointing that toe. Keeping that nice straight line in the back. Don't arch. We want to engage those glute muscles here. Good job, guys. Just up and down, up and down. Keep going. Don't lose the posture. And last one. Then we're going to hold it up and just open the hip and then close it. Open and close. Opening and closing, keeping those hips under. Straight line in the back. Don't lose the height of the leg. Good, keep going. I know it's burning, but you've got this. Alright, let's stretch the leg now, and we're just going to come for Pilates push-ups. So just down with the chest and up. Down and up. Lifting that leg, keeping it up. And let's just come all the way down to our stomachs. And we're just going to work with our back. So arms are bent, feet are separated, and we're just lifting the upper body. Just up and down. Up and down. A nice gentle movement to warm up the back, increase the strength in the back. Good job, guys. After this one, we're just gonna hold up and we're just gonna pulse back with the elbows. So pulse, 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 working those shoulder muscles. And let's hold and release, keeping the upper body lifted. We're just gonna come back to our glutes. So we're just meeting the toes together, lifting the legs, bending them, and then stretching them. Bending and stretching, bending, stretching. Keeping that upper body lifted, or you can bring your forehead down to the mat if you'd like. I'm keeping my toes pointed the entire time. Trying to keep my calves lifted the entire time as I stretch the legs. Good job, guys. Keep going. And after this one, we're just going to pulse the toes together and back down. So bending, stretching, pulsing the toes, coming down. Stretch and beat the toes. Stretch, beat the toes together and down. Good. Just keeping this movement going. Engaging those glute muscles, stretching the legs as much as you can when they are extended. And let's hold it, bringing the legs down. We're going to come onto our hip again. And we're going to work with the hip muscles once more. So we're going to stretch the legs and just lifting up halfway and then coming forward and then back. Forward and back. Good. Keeping that knee stretched, engaging that quad muscle the entire time. You want to make sure that you're trying to point your toe here as well, so you engage the calf muscle. Lift from that shoulder. Don't slouch into the elbow. Keep that posture lifted. And now let's just come up and down. Just in the center, up and down. Making sure our hip is turned in. We're not concentrating on lifting as high as we can here, but only that our hip is engaged. Good. Up and down, up and down. Keep going. We're almost there. Now bring those toes together. We're going to work with the obliques. We're going to lift both of the legs off of the ground, keeping those abs engaged and really trying to use our obliques to lift those legs up. Couple of more, and then we're going to come to our back and come for a nice ab series. So let's release and let's just come to a nice laying position, and we're going to lift our legs off the ground, keeping them bent, hands behind your head, pointing the toes, and we're just going to bring it down and up, gently touching our toes to the mat and then back up. Trying to concentrate on engaging our abs, especially the lower part of our abs. Just up and down, a slight bend in the knees. Up and down, up and down. Good job, guys. Keep going. Awesome, guys. We're going to lift the body now and do the same movement, up and down. If this feels way too advanced for you, then just continue with your head down. Good. Touching those toes and then bringing the feet and the legs up. Don't let go of those abs. If you're unable to engage the abs, then just take a break and then come back when you're ready. It's about doing quality and not quantity here. Good, guys. After this, we're going to add a lift in the hip. So just lifting those hips as we come back up and down, and up with the hips and down. Really working these lower abs now. keeping the upper body lifted, but of course you're welcome to keep that upper body down if this is too intense. Keep those elbows open and lift and lift. You're doing great, guys. Keep lifting those hips and lift, lift and down all the way. Let's release the hands to the sides, keeping the feet hip width apart. You can keep your hands behind your head or by your sides, as I said. Now lift the hips, and then we're going to come for a crunch up. Lifting the hips and crunching up. Good. Keeping the tailbone tucked under. We want that pelvic floor tucked under. We don't want to arch in the back as we lift the hips. And lift. Lift. And lift. Lift. Good job, guys. Keep going. Lifting the upper body and then lifting those hips. And last crunch and down. And let's just lift those hips once more. We're going to come for pulses. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep that pelvic tilt. Don't arch. Pulse, pulse, pulse. And hold. Release. Coming down. Let's come onto our toes and just up and down. Up with the hips and down, lifting that butt, but at the same time keeping that pelvic tilt. We want to feel that engagement in the glutes as much as we can. And now we're just going to lift the hips after this, keeping them lifted, and just in with the knees. In and out, in and out. Very quick movement, keeping that pelvic tilt. And let's just release after this one and bring it down. Good, let's just hug the knees to our chest and rock side to side, massaging the lower back here. And we're gonna come for a rolling like a ball. So just roll up and back down, and rolling up, balancing, and back down, balance, and back down. And now let's just hold here, keep balancing, and now let's just release the feet to the ground, and we're gonna come back up, lifting from the knees, and we're gonna do everything on the other side. So let's start with that oblique exercise. So just coming down to the mat and back up, down and up, coming up with those oblique muscles, keeping them engaged. And whenever you're ready, you can come and hover the hand from the ground and up, hovering and up. Keeping those abs engaged, keeping a nice line in our body, no slouching or arching. Good job, guys. Just keep going. We're almost there. And let's just drop the hand down to the ground after this one. And let's go. Let's just bring that hand down, get yourself situated, other hand on the hip, and just lift that leg, and up, stretching the knee, pointing the toe, engaging those quads as much as we can, keeping those abs engaged, lifting that head from the shoulders, trying not to let it dangle down. Good. Up and down, up and down, lifting as much as we can when we lift it up. Good job, guys. We're gonna come for small circles, and let's go. Small circles going forward, pointing the toe. And now let's take it the other way. Very quick movement here, lifting and down. Good. Let's come onto the hips, and we're gonna work with our arm now. So just bending it towards the upper body and stretch. Bend and stretch. Good. And bend and stretch, keeping those abs engaged. Nice posture here, lifting. You don't want to sink into that elbow. Keep going. Good job, guys. We're gonna come for that hip series in a moment. And let's go. Let's just bend that arm now. And we're just gonna lift that knee, opening up the hip. Toes together. Open. And open. Open. Good job, guys. Don't forget about your abs. Keep them engaged. Keep that nice posture. And keep breathing. You don't want to hold your breath at any point. Alright guys, let's get ready. We're going to lift up and down. So just keeping that hip turned in, lifting, lifting. Feel that glute working, feel that hip working. Keeping those abs engaged. And just take a moment to look at your leg and see if it's turned in. Sometimes we tend to turn our hip out. But if it's turned in, you're going to feel the engagement in your glutes way more. Good. Up, up, pointing the toe, up, and up. Get ready. We're going to lift that hip all the way up and opening the knees. So let's get ready and open. Open, lifting those hips as you come up. The bottom leg and glute are working just as much as the top one. Keep those abs engaged. Keep your head lifted from the shoulders. Don't let it dangle down. Good. Keep going. You've got this. Keep breathing. Work with that breath. Good. And last one after this one. Good. And we're going to turn around onto all fours. So just get comfortable. And we're just going to lift that leg up and down. Same leg is working. Keeping that hip turned in. Toe is pointed. We want to make a nice straight line in our back. And like I said, you can keep your head up, but it makes it a lot easier if you keep your head down to keep that straight line if you feel you have difficulties keeping that straight line in the back. Good. Lifting from that glute. Keeping that pelvic tilt. Don't arch in the back. Good. Keep going. We're going to add a bend in the leg soon. And let's go. Bend that leg and just up and down. Keeping that nice posture in our back, that nice line, the pelvic tilt. I'm making sure that my hip is turned in here and I'm pointing my toe. Good. Don't arch that back. Keep going. Abs are engaged here as well. And lift. Lift. Good. Keep going. And let's just get ready. We're going to turn that hip out and in. Out and in. Keeping that toe pointed. Keeping that pelvic tilt. Don't arch in the back. We want to engage those glutes. If at any point of this workout you need to take a break, please do. take a stretch, water break, whatever. Come back when you're ready. And out. 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 Good. And let's stretch that leg, and we're going to come for our Pilates push-ups. So down. Arms are coming close to your chest, to your body. Good. And down all the way. And let's just work with our back again. So bending those arms at a right angle, and we're just coming up and up. Good. Just the upper body here. Up. Strengthening those back muscles and the shoulders. Up. And up. Good job, guys. And now let's just pulse those elbows back. Pulse, 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 pulse. Keep going. Good job, guys. Feel those shoulders and down. And now let's just work with our glutes again. So we're just going to lift our legs as we did before. So just bending and then stretching. Bending, stretching, meeting those toes together. Good. You can have your upper body up here, or you can go down with your forehead, whatever feels right for you. And bend. Stretch, bend, stretch. Good. Stretching those legs to the fullest, pointing the toes. Good. Lifting those thighs. Keep going. And let's add those pulse actions right now. So just beating the heels together. Beating the heels together and back. And stretch. Pulse, 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 back. Stretch, pulse, pulse, pulse. Good. Trying to keep those thighs lifted off the mat as much as we can and stretching to the fullest. Good. Keep going. You've got this. And now last one, we're going to lift the legs up and just keep pulsing, beating those heels together. Pulse, 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 pulse. Good job. And release. Awesome. Let's just come back onto the hip, and we're going to work with our outer hip again. So we're just going to lift that top leg up and back. In front and back. Front and back, keeping that hip turned in, leg is stretched, toe is pointed. Awesome, guys. Keep going. Keeping those abs engaged, lifting from those shoulders. Don't sink into the elbow. Good, and now let's just come back to center and just lift up from the middle. Lift up, and just take a look at your leg and see if it's turned in or not. If you're turning the hip out, then you're not going to feel the engagement in your outer hip. So just take a good look, correct yourself, keep stretching that leg, toe is pointed. Good, lift, lift. It's not important how high. And now feet together after this one, and we'll lift both legs. Lift, lift. Feel those obliques working here. I know this is really hard, but just try your best. Lift and lift. All right, last one. Lower down, and we're just going to slowly come on to our backs and come for our abs. So we're just going to bend our knees slightly, hands behind the head, and just lifting up. And then we're just going to touch our toes down to the mat and then lift up again. Concentrating that our abs are engaged, especially the lower abs. You want to keep them tight. Good. Lower down and up. Down and up. Just gently touching your toes to the mat. Work with those abs so your legs don't crash down. Awesome, guys. Keep going. After this, we're going to lift that body up and down, up and down. And let's get ready to lift the head and the upper body and continue doing the same thing. Making sure we're keeping our elbows nice and wide here. The abs are still engaged. And up, down, and up. Good. If this feels way too hard for you, then just leave the body down on the mat. Good. Keep going. Keep breathing. We're gonna lift the hips soon. And let's go. Keeping that head up and lifting the hips. Down and up. Down and up. And you can easily do this with your head down. What's really important here is that we're engaging those lower abs. This is just adding a little bit of difficulty to this movement. Good. Lift those hips as high as you can. Crunching those abs as we lift the hips. Good. Engage those abs. Don't let go. Keep your breath going. We're almost there. And let's bring the feet down, hip width apart. And we're going to come for our crunch. And now our bridge. Crunch it up. And lift the hips for the bridge. Crunch, engage those abs. Up with the hips. Pelvic tilt. Good. Don't arch in the back when you lift the hips. And down. Up, down, up, down. Awesome, guys. Keep going. Last crunch up. And we're going to lift the hips up and pulse it out. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep that pelvic tilt. Don't let go of it. And down. Good job. Let's lift the heels and come onto the toes and repeat. Just lifting up and down. Keeping that pelvic tilt. No arching in the back. Squeeze your bum as you come up. Good. Keep going. Breathe through this. When it gets tough, just keep breathing. Awesome, guys. Keep going. You're doing great. We're going to come and open our knees in a moment. And after this one, let's go. Lift those hips and just open the knees. Close them. Open, close, open, close. Just a really quick movement. And now lower those hips down. Good. Let's bring the knees to the chest. And we're going to come for our rolling like a ball again. So just coming up with some momentum and holding. And back. Balance. And back. And balance. One more. And we're just going to hold here. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Balance, balance, balance. And let's just release those feet to the mat now. Good. We're going to come for a nice little cool down stretch. So just bringing the foot in, opening the hip and knee, stretching the other leg. And we're just going to take a nice side stretch and making a nice line and stretching. You're welcome to flex or point your toe here. But make sure that the body is nice and straight, no slouching or arching, just a nice line. And let's just lift up, releasing. We're just going to change our seating position. And we're just going to come down towards the leg with our upper body. And just come slightly up and down. And we're going to do this movement a couple of more times, so just follow me. We're just pulsing it out here, trying to create more flexibility into the hamstring before we finally go down. So up and down, up and down, up, and now let's just hold it down. And you can point your toe or flex the foot here. Flexing the foot is going to increase the stretch more in the leg. Good, hold it. Keep breathing, breathe through into this stretch. And let's come up, and once again, let's just change our seated position. Now facing the front of the mat, and we're just gonna go down here, stretching out that hip. Good. Once again, breathe through into this position. Don't hold your breath. Send oxygen to your body, allowing it to relax more into this stretch. And let's release the upper body. And we're going to lift that knee, tucking it tight to our body. And we're just going to take the opposite elbow and just twist around that knee, coming for a nice spinal twist. Just releasing the tension we've created in our back and increasing flexibility and mobility. Good, keep holding just a little bit longer. Deep breaths here. And let's release, bringing that bent leg back, bending the one in front, and we'll come for a nice little quad stretch, tucking that foot under behind. And you can go all the way down if you feel like, or you can stay up and just lean back. Do whatever feels good for you. You can sway side to side, or just stay here, stretching out that leg. Awesome, let's come up and we'll repeat this all on the other side. So with the first stretch, just bending leg, opening the hip, and a nice side stretch, holding. Nice line in the body. Try not to arch or slouch here. We want to feel this in our side body. And lift up, and we're just gonna move a little bit, now facing forward towards our leg, and just come down with the upper body. We're gonna come for those pulses, so coming up and down, up and down. Just trying to warm up that hamstring, trying to get it as flexible and mobile as we can before we hold down. And let's just hold it down now. Good. Keep breathing. Breathe into the stretch when it gets hard. Trying to increase the stretch with each exhale. Good, guys. You're doing great. And let's lift up, and we're just gonna come back to facing forward towards the mat and just opening that hip and going down, stretching that hip and the groin. Good, keep holding, keep breathing, focusing on this stretch. Awesome, guys. And let's just come up now. And now let's lift that knee up, and we'll just come for that twist. So opposite elbow over the knee and looking back over that shoulder. Nice straight line in the back. Nice deep breaths here. Massaging those internal organs as we breathe in and out deeply. And let's release from this bind and just bend that leg behind, bending the one in front as well. And just lean back or go all the way down, stretching out this quad. You can sway it side to side, move around, find a place where you feel this stretch at its most perfect sweet spot, and just hold there. And let's just come to a nice, comfortable, easy pose, and we're just gonna stretch out our neck, grabbing the head slightly, bringing the arm out to the side. And now bringing that arm all the way down while still holding the head. And now let's just bring that head from behind. We're just gonna bring it diagonally. So just holding the head diagonally, gently pushing down. And now bring it down to center and hold. And now let's come up, and we'll repeat that all on the other side, gently pulling on that head as the arm goes to the side. And now we bring the arm all the way down. And now pushing the head diagonally. Good, and hold it. And now bringing that head down to center. And let's bring it up, grabbing our hands behind, stretching the arms and the chest. And let's bring it down, pulling those arms down. This is your final stretch, so just breathe deeply here. And let's just slowly release the arms out in front. And we're just gonna come up nice and slow, swaying side to side, and bring it all the way up. Awesome, guys. You did so amazing today. I'm so glad you were here to join me, and I'll see you guys next time.